Yeah, I'm not going outside anytime soon. Might as well make a video. Hello everybody, my name is Rabbit and oh my gosh, I have not been this excited since I covered Daisy Brown. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a Tumblr. Are we surprised? No. But a few months ago, on my Tumblr, which you can find a link to on my channel, I made a post about there being a lack of women in the horror community on YouTube. We only really have a handful of creators. It only, I can count them on my hand how many completely female-driven web series on YouTube, and I talked about that for a little bit, and I do want to make a video about that pretty soon. So first, I'm gonna give a little story. A few days ago, I was on Tumblr, and I'm just like, oh, I should probably check my notifications to see if anyone's liked any of my posts. And lo and behold, I looked, and the first one I saw at the top was someone who reblogged that post I mentioned, which I'll show here. If you want to read it in its entirety, you can go on my Tumblr and read it. But I saw a comment on it, and it said to the effect, this is the reason why I restarted my web series. And I was shook. And I don't use that word. That is how I felt. I was like, oh! I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no, this can't be real. This can't be real. So I looked and I read it. I read it like 10 times and I'm like, oh. I need to watch this series now that I helped, So I went onto their Tumblr and I'm researching, and I found it, and it's called Berns and Daily, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Not because of what they said, what the creator said on my post, but because this is a genuinely good web series, and guess what? It's female driven! Oh, happy, happy days! You can tell I'm genuinely happy about this. Yes! So, as I mentioned before in my Daisy Brown video, the only really big web series that we have that are female driven are Daisy Brown, Hi, I'm Mary Mary, and TJ and Amy projects, which is done, which is over. It's not existent anymore. So, it's so refreshing to have a female main character in a web series. Oh, there's also Keratin Garden. I can't believe I forgot about that. There's Keratin Garden. I don't know if that's still going on. But still, there's very few web series that have a female protagonist. So I was so excited when I saw this. I started watching it, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know how it was gonna turn out. As I watched, I realized, oh, this is actually good. I was wrong. But, I was a little skeptical at first, I will admit that. But there was a point in the series where it cemented in my mind, oh, this is good. This is gonna be good. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that I present to you Berns and Daily, and we're gonna talk about it today. Oh boy. So first off, I want to say a couple things about Berns and Daily. It's fairly recent. It only just kicked off, I think, 4 or 5 months ago, maybe even less than that. Sometime late last year. And, it's about this person, Andy. and she draws. And the channel starts off, you know, it's pretty basic. It's drawing. She does like speed drawing and she talks over it. But then we get introduced to another character, Evelyn. And she is Andy's best friend. And they are living at Evelyn's house. But oh no, there's a stalker. There's like this weird guy that's like outside of their house. And they're like, oh no, we gotta call the cops. And the cops say, well, we don't find anything. But they get him on video. And this is where the action starts. So, a couple things we need to establish first. Two main characters. Both female. Both friends. At first I thought they were dating because I misheard one of the words and I'm like, huh. And when I went back and watched it through again, I'm like, oh wait, they're not dating. At least I don't think they are. But there is not only the YouTube channel, there is also Andy's Twitter. There is some story information on the Twitter. Like, she updates it pretty regularly. That's another good thing about this series. Even though it's still in its early stages, they upload pretty frequently. Like, a good couple of weeks or so. That's enough time to get, like, a good product. Now, I've noticed something with web series. I've watched a lot of fledgling web series. And some of them are not very good. But what separates them from, like, Marble Hornets, Tribe 12, Everyman Hybrid, Dark Harvest, those web series is one really important thing, and that is quality. You can push out a ton of videos every day, but if the quality isn't there, it's not gonna go anywhere. But on the other side of that coin, if you have quality, but you don't post that often, you run the risk of becoming irrelevant and people losing interest. You gotta find that sweet spot. Now, with Tribe 12, the quality is so good that it kind of makes up for the wait. Like, the editing and effects in that are spectacular. What Berns and Daly has done is they have mixed both quality and quantity and formed that so the YouTube algorithm blesses them, which is what we want. So they already have like a little piece of the formula for success. Now, another thing which is in this formula for success is an interesting monster. Not all web series need to have a monster, but it certainly helps. And I'll tell you what, Slender Man is nowhere to be seen here. Now, I actually did talk with the creator of the series, and she said that in the beginning, there was a series that was like a total Slenderverse ripoff, but she has since abandoned that, and this is more what she wanted to do. So, the turning point for me, as I mentioned before, was this one specific moment. And I'm going to show you that moment, and you tell me that this doesn't intrigue you.
No, go!
I hope you know what I mean now. What was that? I don't know what it was, but it looks cool. As you can see, there's a drawing of it, and that thing looks creepy as hell. You know what the monster reminds me of? Over the Garden Wall. Is it the Beast? I never watched Over the Garden Wall, but I've seen pictures, and that creature with the tree branch horns and the glowing eyes, that's what it reminds me of. And it looks so good. I've never seen anything like that in web series, and I've watched a lot of them. I love it when people do really creative, interesting creatures. Like, that's one of the reasons why I love Daisy Brown. Not only for the practical effects, which I'm a sucker for, but Alan. Alan is such an interesting monster because it's not Slender Man, it's not the Rake, it's not Jeff the Killer, it's not any of that overdone trash. It is new. It's original. It's inspiring. It makes my heart happy. If you get, like, an original concept and you mix it with the quality to upload ratio, you have the formula for success. If you have a good story and those other two elements, plus the monster, you got it. You've got the formula. And they have it. The characters, while it's still very early on in the series, the characters, you can tell their personalities immediately. Like, just a couple episodes in, you can already kind of get a feel for who they are, their personality. What Berns and Daly does is they establish their characters. Before anything else, you establish your characters and their personalities. You don't lay everything down on the table, but you establish enough so that your audience connects with them. Now, this is great. What they've done is, for Andy, they've shown that she draws, she can be very brash, very, head first into danger, kind of like Evan from Everyman Hybrid, except I think Andy's a bit smarter than that. And then we have Evelyn. Evelyn is the calming presence, the person that says, hey, don't do that, that seems like a bad idea, which is perfectly the balance you need to balance out Andy. Perfect. If you have one extreme, you need the other in order to balance the other out. I love how they show just downtime between the two. And they also kind of, they're making some conflict between the two. There's something that Andy isn't telling her. There's something not quite right. Andy's getting a bit defensive about something, about her sketchbook. And that eventually pays off. But I really don't want to give too much away, because I really highly recommend you go see this. You watch everything. It's about, how long what I say it is? It's about an hour, maybe 2 hour watch. I'd say about a 2 hour watch. It's really good. From this point on, I think it would be best if I talk some spoilers. We're going to get into some spoiler territory right here. So if you have not watched the series, please stop here, pause the video, go watch it. You'll thank me later. I actually watched this. I watched it on my own once, and then I brought Terry 93D over, who did the music for my intro and outro on my channel for my videos. He watched it and he enjoyed it. He really liked the characters, and he doesn't really watch a lot of web series. He isn't really into it. He really only likes Petscop, so this is like big that he actually enjoys it. Alright, so let's get into some spoilers. Right off the bat, I'm gonna say it. Evelyn dies. At least I think she's dead. She could be alive. Either that or she's been taken by the creature thing. I don't know how that's gonna play out in the long run. I honestly don't. I mean, I hope she comes back. I always enjoy the voice of reason characters, because that reminds me a lot of myself. I hope she comes back, I really do. She was a good balance to Andy. And, they really played well off of each other. The creature. Now, since I've already talked to the creator, I took a stab in the dark, and based off of Andy's Twitter followers, which I show here, she follows a lot of Native American, like, things, like quotes, photos, and things like that. So I took a stab in the dark, and I'm gonna say that is a Native American, like, creature. I'm gonna say that's a Wendigo. And I'm pretty sure that it's a Wendigo-like creature of Native American origin, but I'm not really sure in the series when they're going to confirm what it is. Probably later down the line. So I want to talk about some thoughts that I have about where I think the story could be going. The Allison character on Twitter. I think that's a relative of Andy. Doesn't have the same last name. Allison Daly, but there's Daly and Berns and Daly, so that could tie in somewhat. I don't know what the title means. I'm sure that'll be brought up some point. It could just be a title. But I think she's related to Andy in some way, because she says, "Come home," in one of the tweets. They have a Twitter conversation. The wolf mask guy. I don't know who he could be. I think he might be someone from Andy's past, based on the fact that a childhood toy of hers was left in that house. Also, another thing. What is that house? Whose house was that? That was a completely empty house. It might actually be like an old house of Andy's, maybe the one she grew up in. I don't know. I'm just taking a stab in the dark. Otherwise, why would that person have let her there with a childhood toy? It's too early to tell what that means. But water seems to play, like, an important part. You know, there's the covered bridge going over the river. That's where they see the creature. That's where the wolf mask guy shows up to meet them. They visited it previously. I feel like that location is going to play a big part in the series. I'm glad that they're establishing that location early. That's a good thing to do. Establish where you want things to take place, but still introduce new places to keep it fresh. I think I can honestly say I don't know where it's going. You know, sometimes you can guess, oh, I know where this story's going. Like, if you go see a movie, you're like, I know everything that's gonna happen. But with this, I'm not really sure. I mean, it reminds me a bit of Marble Hornets, very early on Marble Hornets. But I can honestly say, I don't know. I don't know where this is gonna go, and that makes me happy, because I get to enjoy the ride along with everyone else. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see where this is gonna go. They deserve way more subscribers. They have 42 subscribers right now. They deserve way more, so I encourage you all, please go watch it. Please give them a chance. And if you like it, subscribe to them. It's great. And there's also the creators' Tumblr, which I will link to. down in the description. Go follow her. She's great. I've been talking to her. She's a wonderful person who likes cryptids like I do. So I've been really, ever since I found it, I knew I wanted to make a video about this. I think it's gonna be something. I think this is gonna be something big. I haven't seen much on it. I've seen like some fan art, one animated video, I think. Yeah, just the one. But honestly, I think this could be like something big, and I'm excited. I get to see it in its infancy, and that's really cool, really exciting, and I look forward to what they're gonna do in the future and where they're gonna take the story. So, thank you everyone so much for watching. Please go watch it. Go watch Berns and Daily. Go follow the creator. I think her name is Faith. If I read that correctly in her Twitter, why do I keep saying Twitter? Tumblr bio. Lovely person. She talks about Berns and Daily on there, and she posts some cool stuff. I'm gonna take this opportunity to say, please, I have a Twitter. If you like what I do, go follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty active over there. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Tell me what you thought of Berns and Daily. I'd love to know what you think, seeing as I love it already. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Rabbit, signing off.